All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. It's showtime like Kareem Lakers. I make a masterpiece seem basic. No Meek Millie, but I'm dream chasing. Took the shortcut like Anita Baker. I want the bright lights that you see in Vegas. I need a big house with like 3 basements. Drop an M on the whip, think I'm speed racing. Don't know if it's the Transformer or the Green Ranger. My nigga Mac got the beat banging. Young nigga selling crack as a teenager. Had fiends playing baseball out here free basing. Had me showing off the rings like a Freemason. My mama gone, but I keep pacing. Trying to keep it all together like I need braces. Family calling when they need favors. When I was broke, they was acting like complete strangers. All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Rest in peace, the Nippy was the street savior. Got my credit right now, I need acres. Gotta turn your dirty money into clean paper. Trying to own a franchise without a key player. I go through hoes like I weave laces. Tree blazers, let they mama noodles be flavored. Meat takers that be acting like the D sacred. You bust in, you would think they on their knees praying. Then I slide like a screensaver. When I'm done, make some scrambled eggs, cheese bacon. Then it's on to the next, I ain't a speed dater. Little bitch ain't gon' hear from me till weeks later. I don't see no things changing. Kids still dodging bullets like they seen Matrix. These young niggas really need saving, but OGs won't teach them that the street's dangerous. All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it. Ooh, baby.
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, man? CamJNetwork, man. Back with another banger show for y'all. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Sorry, but not sorry. Boxing Talk Wednesdays, man. Back in full effect, man. We are here with it, man. You already know, man. You already know, stepping into the building, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. And of course, they got a new feature on YouTube called the hype button. Use the hype button as well, man. You get to use 3 a week. Make sure you use them on me. You did. And you already know, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, man. And we're gonna have some fun today, man. We got a lot to cover, a lot to cover. Crazy part, a couple of topics that we're gonna cover tonight was a couple of topics I was gonna end up doing videos on earlier, but I was moving around, had some things to do, and I was like, well, we just gonna add those couple topics to the show. And you already know, fight week wise, Raymond Muratella versus Andy Cruz this Saturday. Of course, no Zuffa boxing. They got Colin Wash fighting Carlos Ocampo Friday night on Paramount and everything. So we got a couple fights this weekend. Muratalla and Cruz, in my personal opinion, I feel like is a big fight for boxing this week, especially with the 135-pound division, because there's a lot of little turnover in 135 a little bit right now currently. So definitely, man, we got a lot to cover tonight, man, and we definitely gonna cover it for sure. And let me see who all in the building so far, man. You already know. Check out my family. Salute to my cousin, man. Raymond Boxing Podcast. Make sure y'all Definitely subscribe to my brother Ringwald Boxing Podcast, man. My brother Bean, you know what I'm saying? Prayers to you, brother. Hope you feeling better, brother. You already know. And salute to my dog, all things in the building, man. You heard my dog. He said smash that like button, man. Definitely smash the like button. The super chat is at the right lower corner. You can hit the super chat. Cash app is open as well, man. You know what I'm saying? To support the channel, man. Support the grind. We definitely gonna have fun tonight for sure, for sure. You already know the vibes. My boy Lee Jackson in the building, man. Salute to my boy Lee Jackson, man. You already know. And I want to do this. All right, let's do this. What we want to start out with? Matter of fact, let's do the throwback fight of the day. Let's do that first. Then we're gonna get into these topics. So, throwback fight of the day. One of my favorite fighters of all time, man. Um, Definitely been inactive in recent time and hasn't fought in 3 years. But this fight was about 8 years ago yesterday, January 20th, and 2018, where this fight, went down, and this guy with this particular fight, he put a lot of the boxing world on notice with this fight in general. So I'm about to play the throwback fight of the day today, starting off this show, and here we go.
This combination would culminate with the left hand that, as you said, was to the temple area and lost his equilibrium and went down. And that was the point where the fight really changed. I mean, Spence had been doing very well up to that point, but that's the point where it changed dramatically. Referee Harvey Dark, round one. I thought that Peterson would do some lateral movement, but then move into the pocket when he wanted to. There's a nice right hand by Peterson, and a left hook to the body by Peterson. Worked a lot on his defense as well. A nice left uppercut, right hand to the body. Steals by Spence. And now, Spence tells us that Cruz is instinctual. He's playing pressure on Peterson. He's doing that. He might not be doing that well. He needs to get through it so that he can pick up the pace. Comes to percolate, and now it looks like it's beginning to blow. You can't stand in the pocket which makes the whole fight. Striking right down by Spence, who venges physically. There's a nice left hand roll. Spence has every punch in the arsenal. Straight left hand lands by Errol Spence. Fresh has got more punches in his opinion.
4, 5, 6, 7. Seconds out, seconds out. Seconds out, seconds out. That's it, that's it. That's it. No, corner.
All right, man. So there you go, man. January 20th, 8 years ago, man. Earl Spence retired Lamont Peterson on his stool in the seventh round, man. Crazy fight, man. I remember that fight like yesterday, watching that fight. I was with my brother, man, at this bar out here in Cincinnati. Uh, and we was watching the fight, man, because we go to this bar a lot where we watch fights and stuff. We used to, but used to watch fights at this bar, and we watching this fight, man. Everybody was talking about watching Earl that night, And Earl put on a fucking masterclass performance, in my opinion, against Lamar Peterson, man, where he definitely dog walked Lamar Peterson. This was Lamar Peterson coming off of beating Danny, where he didn't beat Danny Garcia, he lost to him, but it was a real competitive, close fight between Lamar Peterson and Danny Garcia, if y'all remember. And a lot of people felt like Lamar edged that fight, but they gave, the decision to Danny Garcia in that fight in particular. And this was, Lamar coming off of that great performance in that fight, going into a dangerous fighting Earl Spence. And obviously, it was super dangerous because Earl retired that man, broke that man down all 7 rounds and retired him on the stool in the 7th round, man. Barry Hunter, he was like, hey, nah, we got to stop this. This ain't going well right here, man. So definitely, man, salute to the biggest, man. Big Fish, Earl Spence Jr., man. Of course, like I said, he hasn't fought in 3 years since the Bud Crawford fight and everything. A lot of people been, speculating if he coming back and everything. Of course, in recent time, and there was a recent rumor with Earl tied to Tim Zoo in recent time, but I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? If Earl Spence does decide to come back and wants to, fight, again, you know what I'm saying? Because, he's been active for 3 years. Earl is 35 years old. And, 35, got a lot of mileage on him from, in the fights that he's been in. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely see if Earl Spence definitely come back, but definitely salute to Earl Spence, man. And you already know, let's go ahead and get to some of these topics that we got going, man. Who else in the building? Let me see what's up with my brother, man. D Lynch, man. What's popping with you, man? D Lynch, my dog, man. You already know Baltimore's finest in the building, man. Salute to my brother D Lynch, man. You already know the vibes, man. So let's get to some of these topics that we got, man. We got several topics to cover today. And let's start with this first one. All right. So this was some crazy news. Of course, obviously, Javante Davis, he got everything going on with, this domestic violence case that he got going on right now. And the WBA, they made him a champion in recess currently right now. So the WBA title is officially a vacant title. And the WBA right now, they're trying to decide whether they're going to order Floyd Schofield Jr. versus Lucas Body, which is Lucas Body. He's number 2 in the WBA at 135. Or Schofield Jr. versus Lamont Roach, which is Lamont Roach's number 4. And it was kind of crazy because me and sis, man, salute to my sis, Jag Queen Boxing, man. We was on the phone a couple days ago, literally when they announced who they was going to order for us with Kid Austin. And I told sis, I'm like, watch, it's going to either be Lucas Body because he's number 2 or Lamont Roach because he's number 4. Those the 2 significant names at 135 in the WBA. And literally a couple hours later, Dan Raphael, he comes out with this tweet right here, exactly saying what I had in the conversation with my sis, Jag Queen Boxing. Salute to my sis, Jag Queen Boxing. Make sure y'all subscribe to her. So you got this in play. Lucas Body number 2. Lamont Roach, he number 4. And just to add a little bit more context to the situation, Floyd Schofield, Senior Auntie Sco, the 5 stars of boxing, says his son fighting Lucas Body is a bigger fight than Lamont Roach. So let's get to some of these videos I got, because man, Mr. Receipts, man, we got receipts, man, of what these guys be saying, man. You already know the vibes. And let's play the clip from Lamont Roach first.
There's a possibility that I can fight Kid Austin for the WBA 135-pound title. We definitely gonna push for that. Obviously, I entered the rankings at the number 4. If that don't happen, we still waiting on Pitbull Cruz to see if he wanna, run it back or not. Because right after the fight, it was motherfucking. Oh, we'll give you a rematch. We do this, we do that, and then they went and watched that motherfucking tape and was like, you know what? We gonna pass. You know.
Salute, man, to Lamar Rose right there, man. I salute the Dank Father in the building, man. Salute to you, brother. My man J Man in the building. Salute to my brother, man, J Man 513 Cincinnati shit, man. And salute to Mrs. CamJNetwork, the wifey, man. I gotta salute and appreciate my wife. She allowed me to take this time in doing this shit because she definitely be wanting her time, of course. So salute to the wifey, man, Mrs. CamJNetwork, and salute to my brother T Hill in the building, man. My brother, man, salute to you. So going back in journal with Lamont Roach in that clip, man. Of course, he spoke about what I just mentioned, as far as the WBA possibly ordering him to fight Kid Austin. And he said, if that ain't the route, as far as that fight in particular, he definitely, willing and wanting to run the fight back with Pitbull Cruz. But of course, Pitbull Cruz after the fight, he was saying, "Yeah, I'll rematch Roach," and then like a few days later, Tank name started squirming around and shit, and his ass said, like, no, I'm not gonna rematch Lamont Roach, which, in my opinion, was nasty work. Like, don't tell that man right after the fight at the post press conference, telling him that you'll rematch him, and then, what I'm saying, a few days later, you think otherwise. I think that's nasty work. And I mean, honestly, I think since it was a draw, Pitbull. I mean, what other better fights do Pitbull have right now? I mean, you can ask. I mean, of course, he's fighting at 140. A lot of shit tied up at 140 right now. I mean, so, Lamont Roach, he don't get the opportunity fighting Kid Austin. I think Pitbull should, definitely run that shit back with Lamont Roach. I'd love to see them definitely, run that shit back for sure. But interesting factor for us that though, let's go ahead and play this clip right here of Mr. Kid Austin speaking about the WBA possibly ordering him with Lamont Roach right here.
Witty, thank you for the 5 piece. The WBA have confirmed that the WBA full title mandatory between Roach versus Schofield.
We haven't heard the news yet, so
Yeah.
yeah, brother, we got to pass. How you gonna tell us and we the fighters? Right, we haven't heard the news. Where he got the news from? I'm saying I've been on Google every hour trying to check if they got the fight yet. So Oscar Eric would have. Yeah, nobody.
So I find it real fascinating that they just went right out the gate saying, no, shit, no, we'll pass on that. When talking about they been on Google and shit, waiting for the news from the WBA. The WBA, they got y'all number, they hit y'all line with with whatever they gonna order. But why y'all so quick to pass up on Lamont Roach? And we already seeing on record right now, obviously, that Auntie Schofield, he believing that Lucas Body is a bigger fight. And speaking of Auntie Schofield, let's go ahead and play the clip of him speaking with Mill City, and salute to Mill City, about the WBA and Kid Austin.
Who's the task that you feel like the people, the boxing world, want to see your son in?
I don't know. I say Lucas Body is on a better promotional team as far as Netflix and they were
MVP?
MVP. I say, they got the biggest stage, just as big as the zone, probably bigger. So I say if Oscar not with the zone, he's like a free agent. So skies is the limit for that fight. Which side he going? So for me, I'd say Lucas Body would be the bigger one because Roach don't have a network behind him or a big promotional company like that behind him. I think PBC. Who Roach on PBC?
Yeah, well, Pro Box more.
See, they don't. Who they on the zone? Like who's there?
No, Pro Box got their own YouTube channel.
So,
application. But yeah, he's kind of a PBC fighter. His last couple fights were PBC.
so I think Netflix will be the biggest thing for eyes on it. So I would say Lucas Body.
Okay, so you think if it is Lucas Body, you feel like it would be a Netflix event?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It would come down, see, because we hold the belts, but it's like, what's the network? See, I don't know what's the talks in the back room. I'm not Eric Gomez or Oscar. They got the plan for that. So they putting that together. But I say, you ask me who's the hardest between the two, or who's the biggest. I think it would be Lucas Body, because Netflix have millions of subscribers. Jake Paul involved, MVP involved, that's Oz involved. They got a huge platform.
So there you'll
And
be
that's
more
a,
eyes on that fight, you believe?
Boy, these boys is amazing, man. So got a couple more people in the building, man. Salute to my brother Irony Boxing in the building, man. Great to see you as well, my brother, man. Hope you're doing well, my dog. And salute to my dog Champ Ross in the building, man. I see you, my brother, man. Hope all is well with you, my dog, for sure. So, Auntie Schofield right here, man. He already going off and he's saying that they rather fight Lucas Body because they believe Lucas Body is a bigger fight. And of course, Lucas Body being with MVP Promotions, of course, some of the fighters they fight on Netflix, on cars that Jake Paul provides. Majority when Jake Paul fights, and just to add a little bit more context to that, in particular, Jake Paul ain't fighting no time soon. Right now, it's looking like if they order this fight would definitely be probably in the spring, like April, May, sometime around that time. Jake Paul ain't coming back around to fight in the next few months. Jake Paul probably won't even be fighting until probably the summer, end of the summer, maybe fall. Damn near if any damn thing. So with that being said, who would be the headliner that they would be fighting under if they was to fight on Netflix? Would it be like a Alicia Baumgartner fight, or fucking Amanda Serrano fighting again or something? Like, what I mean? That ain't a guarantee for that to happen. So with them pushing this whole Lucas Body shit, believing that if they was to fight Lucas Body, they'd be fighting on Netflix. That ain't a guarantee 100%, honestly. They could be on the zone for for all we know, for real. In reality, you know what I'm saying? So that's not a guarantee that they'd be on Netflix. You know what I mean? But obviously they choosing Lucas Body because they believe Lucas Body is the easier fight. You know what I mean? They feel like he's the easier fight than Lamont Roach. Even though they downplay, Lamont Roach talking about that Lucas Body's the bigger fight than Lamont Roach. As far as name wise, Lamont Roach is the bigger name between the two. Lamont Roach, he done been in two big fights, the past year with Tank Davis and Pitbull Cruz. He's fought the more, significant competition. You know what I'm saying? So it's obviously they picking and choosing on how they moving with the situation. You know what I'm saying? They think Lucas Body is the easier fight, and that's why they pushing for that. And all's well. I'm cool with Kid Austin and Lucas Body fighting. I mean, Lucas Body, he earned his right. He fought his way into contention where he's number 2 in the WBA. So WBA ordering that number 1 and number 2, that's totally 100% fine, and that's what they should do. Have the two top guys in the WBA or whatever sanctioned body it is, fight it out for that vacant title, just like they just did with Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes in particular for the WBO in recent time when Keyshawn got stripped. So I think it's 100% fine. Now I will say this with tying into Lamont Roach. I do like what Dank Father said. Where's Dank Father? Dank Father said the Lamont Roach should fight the winner. I say the only way Lamont Roach should fight the winner is if he don't fight Pitbull in the rematch. If he don't get that Pitbull rematch, then I would hope for Lamont to wait for the winner of that fight, possibly in my opinion. I mean, which it make 100% sense to me if they was to do so in that way. But let me play this other clip right here and salute the Mill City once again right here, man. Them boys is Mill City. I call Mill City messy ass Mill City, man. That boy, he a big shit starter, man. But the content be lit over there, man. Salute the Mill City, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to him.
If anything come in between them two fighting.
Yeah, there should be no funny business, but the WBA's got to make their decision, mandate the fight, and
Right,
that's it.
right.
The rest is
So
history.
they as far as we know, we supposed to know something by Friday on the opponent and the date. We know that the date that they gave us was February 31st, but I don't know if Lucas would have had enough time. So that's why the WBA trying to find out, or it's going to possibly be March, April. But we could see February or March, but they're going to contact, I guess, Lucas camp and then go from there. But we'll see. That's all we could do is wait and see what they're going to say. But congratulations, Lucas. Congratulations, man. All from that great win, that great knockout. So I just wanted to tell you that. I commend that because
So there you have it right there with Auntie Schofield right there, man. Telling Lucas Body that they hoping to hear something from the WBA by Friday on who the op gonna be and what the date gonna be. And they looking for us, like I said, I mentioned, around the springtime, around April. And Lucas Body, he's there, he's game for the shit, of course. And you seen a little bit of, you know, Auntie Schofield in there trying to show love to Lucas Body in there, trying to butter him up and shit. They pushing for that shit crazy, man, for sure. But I say, hold on, let me see something real quick. I see something real quick. All right, yeah. Yeah, dang. All right, so dang. I understand that, but you gotta think about it, bro. It's with the money. It's for the matchups and the money, man. Lamont, he get the Pitbull rematch. He gonna take that. He gonna take that. It's probably gonna be bigger money on the table for them to do that if they run the rematch back. So he get the opportunity to fight Pitbull Cruz. Lamont Rose gonna take that for sure. He ain't gonna wait for that at all. He gonna take that fight for sure. And shit, he win that, then maybe he could fuck around and come back and to the situation full blown. But if he don't get the Pitbull situation, I'm right with you. Push for the winner of that fight for sure. You know what I mean? I'm right with you on that. But if he get the opportunity with Pitbull, that man gonna take that shit, man. Because the bag gonna be calling that man. And he definitely, he want to get back on that fight for us, the draw and everything as well. So it definitely makes sense for him to do that. Well, and let me see what's in the building. Salute to Yes Indeed Boxing. Salute to my sis, man. Shotwell, man. Salute to you, sis. What's popping with you? Hope all is well. Make sure y'all subscribe to Yes Indeed Boxing, man. Sis be cooking up crazy over there, man, on the entire landscape of boxing from the men and the women. So make sure y'all subscribe to Yes Indeed Boxing, man, for sure, man. Salute to my sister, Yes Indeed Boxing, for sure. Yeah. So, all right now, man. So with that, all of that being said, we're gonna end up. It looks like the WBA they're gonna be ordering either or Kid Austin versus Lucas Body or Kid Austin versus Lamont Rose. I'm thinking it's gonna be Lucas Body, obviously because he's number two and they pushing for that shit. So we'll stay up to date for us that move in general for us what happens in that and we can go ahead and get into this next topic that I have. All right, so what we got? All right, so let's go and talk about this briefly. All right, so of course in recent time, and I just did a quick short on that a couple of days ago. Ja Obertai, he signed a promotional deal with Zuffa Boxing in recent time, and him being with Zuffa, it raised a lot of questions. Like Ja Obertai, he wants to unify up at the cruiserweight division, and hasn't got the opportunity Me personally, I felt like Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy been kind of stalling that situation out on Zerto fighting Ja Obata in particular, to where Ja Obata he's had to fight other opponents. So him signing with Zuffa was like different because it's like, damn it feel like you almost pushing yourself way farther away from wanting to do what you want to do for us, unifying and becoming undisputed at the cruiserweight division. And and other news for us, Ja Obata. The team came out, from his team in general. They came out and said one of the concerns was they didn't recognize the sanctioning bodies for us, talking about Zuffa boxing. Said, however, probably sweeten the deal and get Ja across the line that they will let Ja fight for the titles and unify the division, which is exactly what he wants to do. So, with his deal with Zuffa boxing, he is able to unify up. They allow him to go unify up with the titles over there because fighting a guy like Zerto or fighting David Benavidez, because we already know that David Benavidez and Zerto, they fighting each other May 2nd. Um, fighting the winner of that fight, would definitely, pay a lot of dividends, for him for sure. And it's something that he wants. He wants to unify. But it's gonna be tough to see that situation through 100% for us that shit. Cause we know David Benavidez, he is still champion at 175. So, he can go down and try to look for fights with, Bivol down there, but Turby is. You got shit down there. So, David's always looking for, the best fight possible. So I do like that the situation with Jao Batai, they are allowing him to fight for those other titles and stuff. So interesting situation. We'll stay close to it. For us with Jao Batai, definitely one of the great fighters of today's time right now for sure. Been cooking up, undefeated and everything. And speaking of um, Zuffa, man, they're trying to get Alexander Usyk over there with Zuffa boxing, man. So apparently, it's been report that you know Alexander Usyk is in talks with Zuffa boxing on a fight deal over there, which is real interesting to me for real. Like for us, like with Zuffa, everything that's happening with Zuffa is exactly how I've been speaking about it in the past. I said, yeah, they're garnering all the C and D level fighters and the prospects and everything. That's they vibe right now. But then they definitely going to try to get some guys that's free agents that's significant names within the sport over there too with them as well. And me personally, I don't. This is my question for Alexander Usyk. What can Zuffa Boxer do for you? That's my thing. What can Zuffa Boxer do for Alexander Usyk? Like that's my question. Like, what can they do for him? Oh, salute to I got you. Hold on, Tay. Oh, let me do something real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Let me bring my brother on here. There you go. All right, got you. All right, yeah. So back to it, my brother. Yeah, I just sent you the link, Tay. So Zuffa boxing, bro. Like with Alexander Usyk, of course, in recent time we've been hearing about him possibly fighting Deontay Wilder and shit. And I don't know how that plays out now. We got more news with Deontay right now currently too as well, for as where he's positioned himself a little in a different situation, man. So, let me salute to my brother, man. Salute to my brother Tate Jones, man. What's popping with you, brother? How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm good. What's going on with it, man?
Oh man, shit, man. Just chilling, man, and talking this boxing tonight, man. You already know, sorry but not sorry, boxing Wednesdays, you dig.
Sure.
Let me get your opinion. While I was just talking about Alexander Usyk with Zuffa, man. So what's your opinion with this? They're reporting saying that Alexander Usyk is in talks with Zuffa Boxing on a possible fight deal with them.
I mean, shit, it'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? Just got to see how that's gonna work out because, with everything Zuffa Bossa got going, especially with the whole Ali Act and stuff like that. Now
Yeah,
that if Deontay is in talks with him to fight, got to see how that's gonna work out because I know for sure Deontay is definitely against that whole Ali Act joint they got going on. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. You know what I mean? So,
facts.
but I do know that they're in talks. You feel me? So we'll see. Now Zuffa Bossa coming with the bad to put the fight on. Cool. Because that's the only thing I've been wondering. Like, who gonna put the fight on? You know what I'm saying? Because
Facts.
I know. The D in Turkey, that's definitely not happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Turkey doing what he did. You know what I mean? So I know that's not happening. So it's like my whole thing has always been like, okay, it's cool. He finally want to fight, and that's fine. Shit, because I want to see it too. But at the end of the day, like, who gonna come with the bag for the fight? Is Super Boxing coming with it? Cool. But then you got to think about the whole Ali Act and how that's gonna interfere with what them boys got going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing. But again, I don't know. We'll see how it work out. But shit, it is what it is. If that's the route that Usyk want to go, cool. You know.
Facts, 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 and then even man, because of course, we go ahead and speak about it in general with the
Mhm.
guys, man. So, of course, the report came out. You reported it as well on your channel as well, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to my brother Tay Jones' channel too, man. My brother be cooking up over there, man, and he be dropping jewels over there, dropping jewels, all that. You feel me? So, even what you reporting the other day, man, speaking about Deontay Wilder with Derek Chisora.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah, so
actually,
this fight possibly happening in April,
no, it ain't
and
possibly. It's definitely
it's
happening.
okay. Okay,
No, it's
yeah. So
definitely
go ahead and speak
happening.
about it.
Yeah, it's definitely happening, man. Shit, I knew on Sunday. I gave it out to what my boy name, my boy Matt Brunchbox, and then I gave it to him. Let him
Facts.
go ahead and let him drop it first. You know what I'm saying? Then once he dropped it, and I was like, shit, bro, I just come behind you. You know what I'm saying? I rather for one of the guys to have it than you know what I mean. The other side have it, you know what I'm saying? Because they talking about finalizing the deal. Nah, it's already finalized. Here y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? So press conference next week. You know what I mean? So yeah, for sure, man. It's definitely happening, and shit,
London.
yeah, it's gonna be in London, man, and
Yeah, London.
yeah, it's press conference next week. Happened in London. Derek Chisora last fight. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those fights where, you know what I'm saying, Deontay wanted to fight. And he actually was supposed to fight in October. He was actually supposed to fight 2 times last year, other than the June date that he had.
Right.
But some things happened with Turkey where he flaked on the deal and, you know, and then that didn't go well. So Deontay went his own route. You know what I mean? Waiting on them, and they weren't going to never tell him that the fighter that he was supposed to fight, had another fight lined up and scheduled. So they wasn't never going to tell him. So he was like, all right, cool. So he knew which way he wanted to go from that point. Um, and once this fight came about, Turkey tried to get back in there, but it was already too late. They didn't want to deal with him no more. You know what I mean? So uh,
Man.
now, no, no, now they got to fight with what's his name? Chisora, which is I think is a great fight if you ask me. I actually think that Chisora maybe be like he might be two or three steps ahead at this age right now. I think he's like 2 or 3 steps ahead of Tyrell Herndon, which was Deontay's last opponent. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
He was durable. People talk shit about him, cool, whatever the case may be. But when people fight Deontay, they always come with their best game, because they all know that all it takes is one punch from him, and you can be, lying on the ground, waiting on the bell to ring for the fight to be over with. So again, kudos to Tyrell Herndon. To me, he was a tough fighter than what a lot of people expected. Even though Deontay was coming back from a 2-year hiatus. And then here it is now. I guess what 8-9 months later, Deontay about to get back in the ring with Derek Chisora. And he's been on the hiatus too. Derek Chisora said
Facts,
he wanted this to be his 50th fight. Cool, no problem. Let's run it. It was no problem.
facts, man. So, with this fight going down with Deontay and Derek right here, let me ask you this: do you feel this is like a, a get ready fight for Wilder for Usyk?
I wouldn't say a get ready fight for Usyk. I just think that it's another fight for Deontay
Yeah,
in general, just to get his feet back wet once again. And then of course, um, Chisora is a durable fighter, which we know Usyk gonna be durable. You know what I mean? And he go the second phase of where he started, with Tyrell Herndon, trying to turn the tide of things. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And again, like I said, I think skill for skill wise, I think they're like not in the same bracket, but I think he might be like two or three steps ahead. So this is the next step. You know what I mean? So. Just some more fight that Deontay got to go through. You know what I mean? And he's up for the challenge. And like I said before, he was supposed to fight in October and then turn right back again around and fight in December. So he's had two different training camps, and now he's getting ready for. He just coming out of a training camp just last week. So shit, man. And I mean. He ready to do what he do. I know everybody counting him out and stuff like that, but that's what you want. You want people to count you out. You want people to say, why won't he just take the Usyk fight and just go on and da 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 da? But it's boxing. That's what people want. People want what they want. You know what I'm saying? And Deontay said it
facts.
from the jump. I'm going to do it my way. Coming back, he wanted 3 fights to get back. Fully equipped to whatever was going to happen. It didn't work out that way. So the next best thing is to take the next step up to fight Chisora and then go to Usyk after that.
Facts. I love it. I love it. I actually love that he's fighting Chisora. Just just continue to build. Build. Within this fight in general, and then hopefully the Usyk shit is still in play. Cause I heard Usyk the other day, man. I heard he was bringing up Fury name again the other day, man, and I ain't really like that 100%, personally. But from what I'm hearing Fury is, he's going to be fighting in April as well, and I'm hearing that Fury's, is going to take a, like a, a soft touch type of fight first, to get his feet back wet, from, him fighting Usyk in that, that rematch. And, of course, he's looking to fight Anthony Joshua, towards, summertime, third quarter this year in 2026. So, you got that right there for us, with Fury. What you think about Fury, coming back in April?
Shit. I mean, if he come back, he come back. You know what I mean? And then on
Yeah,
top of that shit, only place he want to fight is in England, so he can do what he do best. But you know what I mean. But other than that,
facts.
he don't want to fight nowhere else, and that's not. I mean, everybody. Well, majority of people know why. You know what I mean. But kudos to him.
Facts, man, facts. So, I had this little story right here, man. So I don't know if you seen this with the Charlo brothers, man. Them boys was going back and forth a little bit, man. So let me play this clip from Jamal Charlo right here, real
Okay.
quick. Let me pull it up. It is right there. You go.
Me and my brother, we're doing fine. We doing well. Like I just seen him at the Boots fight, and I don't think that's a good fight for him stylistically. Um, Me and my brother, we don't really. My brother lives on a different side of Houston. Houston is huge. My brother lives on a different side of Houston than me. We see each other here and there. We was just training with each other not too long ago. Um, we don't like into it or nothing. We just don't like. I mean, you would think because we twins, right? Yeah. That we bump heads sometimes. We talk about. I feel like the relationship with my brother would probably go like get 100% when our career is over. You know, it's just well, we don't have to even talk about boxing anymore. Like me and my brother, we're doing fine. We doing.
Yeah, man. So you got Jamal Charlo right there in that clip right there. He was on the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer, man. Salute to Brian Custer. And you know, spoke about far as Boots saying that he think Boots is a bad fight for his brother Jamil Charlo. And he was saying that, far as they relationship, they basically saying in layman's terms that that they've always been competitive, and said that they'll probably always be competitive, up until they done with boxing, pretty much.
Right.
Which was real interesting to me, as far as that aspect right there. And of course, in recent time, man, Mel, he responded to him, in recent time, and of course, this was him, Mel talking about Bo Sanders, saying basically boxing is not a team sport. So the next move is always the best move. I don't know what the fuck they talking about, but I've always heard you doing something right when the other teams start to feud. 154 is the most overlooked division. I'll fix the problem. Send me the contract. You know, talking to Oscar De La Hoya or Eddie, pretty much. And then going off of the interview with Jamal, Jamil, he started, responding to, Jamal pretty much. This guy on Twitter was like, remember when your own brother said Boots would be a bad style matchup for you? And Mel said, if he wasn't my brother, never mind, no comment. And then Mel, he tweeted out, said, can't believe my own twin brother motherfucker was on there talking like that because of jealousy. Kane killed Abel, right? Motherfucker should have fought Canelo then. Now look at boxing. Them psychedelics got the best of them. Early bird get the worm. We are not the same. Money Mill. And I guess right after that tweet, people was talking to Mel and stuff, retweeting them and everything. And Mel came out and said, I would never fight my brother. Because, I guess people was, in the comments and stuff, talking about, you and Mel, you and Maul, y'all gonna fight and everything. And, Mel said, I would never fight my brother, man. So what you think about this situation with, the Charlo brothers right now, Tay?
Man, they always have some shit going on. Ain't nothing. So I mean, that's what if you ask me, I can't comment on a relationship or nothing like that. But
Right,
I mean, last what 5 years it's been like that. You know what I mean? Little rocky road with them boy. You know what I mean? So at one point they was together like glue. You know what I'm saying? They was together like gnats on shit. You know what I mean? But now both of them boys got long money, long bread. And it could be to where they portraying that to the boxing world, you know what I'm saying, just to get people to
right.
talk about, you know what I mean? We don't know, you know what I mean? So I don't take it with a grain of salt at all. I mean, at the end of the day, they're brothers, you know what I mean? So whether it's a few going on, it might be something personal going on. It might be family issues with them, you know what I mean? I don't really think it's boxing related, you know what I mean? But shit, man, them boys, they brothers, man. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. Shit, one of them can get hurt right now, and in the streets, God forbid, and the other one gonna be there. You know what I
Right.
mean. One of them can probably be at a boxing event and get into it, see the other one, then the next thing you know, you got both of them on your ass. So at the end of the day, man, I don't even try to get in family business, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely, bro. Yeah, man. I hate to see them, be having to go back and forth in public, because I'll be hoping they, they resolve whatever issues they have behind the scenes instead of go back in public. Now, the comment about Boots, did you think Mel Maul should have said that on far as saying that Boots would be a bad style matchup for Mel in public?
I mean, he could have been speaking the truth.
Yeah,
He could have been speaking the truth. I mean, the truth hurt everybody, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that is his brother, but he could have been speaking the truth. Could have been for his own good, you know, or he could have just been saying, putting it again. They brothers. He could have just been putting it out there, so you know what I mean. He can get the fight. You don't know. You know what I mean.
Right, right.
You know,
Absolutely.
you don't know. I would have, they twins, bro. You know, one of them might be saying, "Hey, bro, if you say this, then he might try to fight me." You know what I mean?
Facts.
You never know, bro. See, I think opposite of what the public be saying anyway. You know what I mean? It's just my way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying my thinking way of thinking is right, but I mean they brothers. You know what I mean? And we don't, as fans, we don't know exactly what's going on with them. You know what I mean? They can be playing games and laughing behind closed doors and with their feet
Hmm.
kicked up, sipping gin and juice, man. You know what I mean? So
Man, for real. For
so
real, man. For
I
real.
don't understand
I
that type of
definitely
stuff.
found it as real interesting for us that I was just like me personally, I felt like, if I had a twin brother and we both box, I wouldn't have said that in public. But
Right,
like you
right, right,
said, he possibly said that, to try to push for Mel to get the boots fight.
right,
In
right,
general,
right.
you know what I'm saying. So it's
Yeah,
different perspectives from it for sure. Because these guys, they do say things publicly for general purposes. You know what I mean?
right,
So I definitely see that from that perspective as well, for sure, bro, for sure.
right.
Definitely.
It's just
Yeah,
my
so
way of thinking, man. I ain't saying I'm right or
yeah,
nothing like that. I just like, damn, okay. I just try to put, a different perspective into it. That's all, man.
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, man. So, all right, man. So crazy stuff, man, going on in recent time, man, with Keyshawn Davis, man.
Hmm.
Of course, he had the video speaking about him drinking in recent time, and let me go ahead and actually play. Let me go ahead and play that clip of that real quick. Play that.
That's awesome. So my first question was, do you feel like you outgrowed 135?
Yes, I feel like I outgrow 135, but if you want me to be like honest, like shoot, I feel like, I'm gonna be so honest. Like during that camp, I was like going through like a lot of mental struggles. And how I was getting through it was literally just drinking every single day. In camp, I was basically drinking every day and I was just hurt, bro, from the previous camp and then the previous camp for that camp. And then things were just lingering on. And I was beating up limos with a bad mental. I was knocked out Baranchik with a bad mental. So I was just like, man, I can fight. I can do this. Like, if I just get to the fight, that I'd be good. Like real talk, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like because I that was the only reason why I couldn't really lose those extra 3 pounds because I was just I was just drinking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so we got that clip right there with Keyshawn speaking about himself drinking during the Edwin De Los Santos camp right there, and then Bernie the boxer, he was on Mill City, of course, and he responded to him with this clip right here. Yeah, but like I said, I didn't see no signs of that. I don't think none of us could have seen no signs of that in the preparing to the De Los Santos fight. I don't know that. Maybe in the fight before that, in the camp before that, the guys might have had to counsel him about some things which I wasn't privy to and didn't hear anything about. But I know for the De Los Santos fight, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary for that fight. And like I said, he said he was drinking so much that's why he couldn't make the weight. And I never even heard that he drunk. I didn't never seen him take a drink. I never heard that he drink or nothing. And to drink every day during a training camp the way we put him in is crazy. I don't know how he was able to sustain himself, for that time. And if I'm being honest, he wasn't 4 pounds overweight at first. He wasn't. So,
Well, that's news.
uh, you know, he decided that it wasn't a thing he wanted to he decided he wasn't going to make the weight. So I don't know what
that was a decision on him. Like I said, he basically said that. You know, he couldn't make the weight. He said in another interview, he said, I couldn't make the weight. He said that even when he was after the De Los Santos fight. He said it, I just didn't want to do it. You know, so it was basically on him. He didn't want to make the weight. So whether he blamed it on drinking, whether he blamed it on the mental aspect of things, he just didn't want to make the weight.
Yeah, man. So yeah, you got of course Keyshawn. He's speaking about that he was drinking during the Edwin camp, and then you got Bernie the boxer right there himself. He said he didn't see any signs of Keyshawn, drinking during camp and everything, especially with the camp that they had Keyshawn go through getting prepared for Edwin De Los Santos. Said it was a real tough camp, and said that I don't see how he would even sustain drinking during the camp that we put him through. So, tell you what, what's your thoughts about this right here, man? In this situation with Keyshawn.
Man, that that's been coming ugly. I've been keeping up with that, man. I was actually gonna text Bernie today, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just keep my hands off of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, it's just I don't know. That's an ugly situation, man. You know what I mean? Because I personally, if if you know Bernie, you know what I'm saying. He, of course, we know he loudmouth and stuff like that, but
right,
yeah, he's definitely a dude that definitely has integrity. You know what I'm saying? He stands up what he believes in, and I don't think he would have any reason to lie. You know what I'm saying? I
right,
really don't. Personally, I would call a cap on Keyshawn's side, if anything, simply because, I mean, bro, come on, man. Like, he didn't even look dry. He didn't even try to make weight. You know what I'm saying? As to where when you go back and look at previous interviews or things that he said he tried to. So, and then now he said he could have made weight. Like, yeah, man, listen, man. Just call it for what it was. You know what I'm saying? You didn't want to. You know what I mean? You was being a professional. Just call it what it is. You know what I mean? I think people would accept that more. You know what I mean? But again, I can't really too much speak on Keyshawn because I don't know. You know what I mean?
right,
But if I had to say that, I would say that's cap on Keyshawn's side. And I think he's a hell of a fighter, man. But
right.
to say that your mental was messed up doing this fight and that fight, I mean, if you go back and look at previous interviews, he was saying that, he was past that. Everything has got
Yeah,
better. He was, what I'm saying, welcoming his baby, I think a baby boy at that time. He was
yeah,
welcoming his baby boy and he was happy for his brothers. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Maybe he do got mental uh some type of mental capacity somewhere like that. Who knows? I can't. If you ask me, I think mental health is real. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
but at the same time, it's like, you can. How many times you can pull that card? You know what I'm saying? Because you did. Now, I mean, you go back. It's public record when you said everything is fine. I'm good. I'm glad that people reached out to me and da da da. And now it was, oh, I was going through this. I was going through that. I was like, damn, hold on. Yeah, I might have to go find them clips. Cause I know you say
Man,
you
for,
good now. I know you
for
say you
real.
good now. I know you say you good now. Come on now, like
Hey,
and I think he a hell of a fighter. So I don't want to shit on. I don't like the
facts.
person to shit on him. But yeah, hey, you did say this. Now I gotta hold you accountable now.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And even further, man, like this was even crazy because after he seen what Bernie said, he went out, he got on Twitter and he was, saying, Bomac out here talking bad about me, which Bernie, I mean, Bomac hasn't even done an interview in recent time, and then he hasn't even said anything, tweet or Instagram story or anything saying anything pertaining to Keyshawn Davis. So that was cap because Bomac hasn't said anything about Keyshawn. Then he said,
Mhm.
now Bernie out here talking bad about me, and all I had to say about them guys was positive. Positive. I thought y'all were supposed to be the OGs in the game, but y'all out here doing what prospects do. Shaking my head. Anyways, new team, new date, better me. And of course, with Keyshawn, man, of course he's on a media run, and he had another interview with Fight Hub TV.
Mhm.
And let me go and play the clip from that real quick.
That's awesome. So my first question was, do you feel like you outgrowed 135?
Wrong one, wrong one. There you go.
Mm.
And lastly for me, Keyshawn, just to clear this last little piece up, Bernie came on with Mill City and mentioned that at one point in the strain to make the weight that you were closer than the 4 pounds, and that essentially you just had made a decision at one point to just say forget it. Was that a strategic decision, or did you just give everything that you had inside?
See, I seen that, and I seen people saying, "Oh, he was scared. He did. He wasn't trying to fight De Los Santos." Who do? What I got to say about it is, mind y'all business. That is water under the bridge. That fight is gone. We can't go back in time and change anything. What happened, happened. Let it go. We're fighting. I'm about to fight in front of 20,000 fans. Something that I never did before on a Ring magazine card as a co-main event. And I'm about to knock Jermaine Ortiz out. So after I do that now, then I'm potentially going to be main eventing a Ring card. And y'all want to keep talking about what happened in June? Look, we on to bigger and better things. And now we had a new weight with a new team, with a new promotion, with a new manager, with a new everything. And y'all want to keep talking about what happened in June? Come on, man. Keyshawn is back and he's better. The amazing Keyshawn Davis, January 31st. It's gonna get wicked.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. And good luck to you.
So we got Keyshawn right there, man, saying, telling the people, telling the boxing culture, that fight is water over the bridge, move on from it and everything. Basically, just trying to, basically just tell people to get off of the whole situation for real, far as, the Edwin De Los Santos situation. And then, bro, the content just keep going, man. So we got Bernie the Boxer, man. He responds to Keyshawn. And here goes the clip of him responding to Keyshawn with this shit right here.
I believed he could have made the weight. Everybody talking about what he weighed over the weight. Okay. Was he overweight still? Yes. No matter what I'm saying, he still was overweight. Okay? So it don't matter whether it was 4 pounds, whether it was 2 pounds. It don't matter. The man was overweight. Okay. Now, folks talking about like I'm just gruntled or we just gruntled because we not working together and I'm throwing them under the bus. Nah, like I said, everything I'm saying just coming off the truth. Everything I'm just saying just coming off the facts. Feel me? Again, in response to what he said, which was he was drinking every day. Okay. He said that on a platform. I never knew that. I'm just telling you the truth. I never knew that the man was drinking every day. I never knew that the man had a drink. I never knew the man took a drink. I never knew none of that. Feel me? That's it. What am I to say? If a man, how I know if the man drinking or not? I don't know. Feel me? Like I said, he was going through the training camp, looking good, looking sharp, feeling motivated every day. How would I know? Feel me? We don't live in the same house together. We got our own training camp house. He got his own home where he do his thing at. I got my own home. He got 2 coaches that live with him. None of those coaches never relayed nothing to the other coaches in the other house. From what I'm told. The man, so I wouldn't know if he was drinking or not. Do I believe Bo knew he was drinking? No. Nobody knew that the man was drinking. So he said that's why he missed weight. Okay. That's his truth. But I'm speaking my truth. My truth is I didn't know he was drinking. My truth is I believe he could have made weight. Feel me? Now, I need to go try to find this clip with the businessman saying that he could have made the weight. Listen, if he could or he couldn't, the shit is water under the bridge. But all you motherfuckers looking and trying to find something to say and looking for something. Niggas is girls for real. Like, have some substance. Do something else. Why don't y'all make up some more substance in your show instead of gossiping like little bitches? Y'all could put up something like, what fight would this remind you of? The fight that he's in. The crossroads that he's in. Bring up some historical facts Bring up something to make your point.
It's a that boy gonna start going off. Y'all already know who he's going off on. So, back with the story, man. With being said, Bernie, like you said, he didn't see any doings of him, drink whatever. And me personally, I had a video about this other day, and then of course, some more content came out from Keyshawn and Bernie and everything. And spoke and said the other day myself. I felt like, you know. Bernie, he looked very serious as far as him speaking on the situation with Keyshawn. And like you said, tell you, I'm in the same agreement with you. I don't see why Bernie would lie on his end. You know what I'm saying? So it got me looking at Keyshawn like, no, what's up with you over here? Like, why would you even, have a lie like that, saying that, you was drinking and you was having mental issues? You know what I'm saying? This looked like a lot of, capping your in. You know what I mean? It's a lot of inconsistencies because, like you said, it's content of Keyshawn, and, recent time and where, he was saying he was good and he was in the best shape, best, you know, shape of his life, saying, little shit like that in particular where like it got you scratching your head like, bro, like this shit is inconsistent, man. There's too many inconsistencies, and Keyshawn's stories in particular, man. And I hate for it to be that way for Keyshawn because I'm a fan of Keyshawn and I feel like, you know, he was on a great trajectory for us, before the Edwin De Los Santos situation happened, and then for God to bless him and even have him in this predicament where now he's about to fight co-main next week in Madison Square Garden against Jermaine Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a blessing for him for sure because, if he didn't get that opportunity, man, we don't know what would be happening with Keyshawn right now. Because, Top Rank, of course, you know, they right now don't have a network, so they putting they fighters around different spots right now, fighting in different areas and stuff like that. So we don't know what would happen. So Keyshawn just hope that he truly learned this lesson from the situation with the Edward De Los Santos situation, and really take full advantage of what he have ahead of him. This fight with Jermaine Ortiz, this is a crossroads fight pretty much for both of these guys in reality right now.
Right.
Jermaine Ortiz, this his last chance to, get himself back into championship contention. And, with, Keyshawn Davis, it's a lot on the line. He loses this fight, his stock definitely goes down.
Right.
And so, it's a lot on the line for Keyshawn, man, and I just hope he understands that and maximize the opportunities, to the best of his ability, man, because he got a lot of talent, got a lot of charisma. We like Keyshawn for us, him popping his shit and everything out here and everything for us, because I like the fighters that talk they shit, man. So I like Keyshawn popping his shit, man. Keyshawn, he's good for the sport. When he got his head and his mental right, man, for sure. So I really hope that he can get this shit together and definitely cook up this next week in this Jermaine Ortiz fight, man. I'm definitely rooting for him. I like his story, well, and he got to learn his lesson from this Edwin De Los Santos shit, man, and never put himself back in these predicaments for sure.
Yeah, he do, man, and the shit that's gonna be a tough fight too.
Absolutely. I think it's his toughest fight to date right now, personally. You know what I'm saying? This is the toughest one that he got right here, from everybody else that's been on his resume in particular.
Yeah, I do. I think so too. Um, I think, oh man, I don't know. That's, because we talking about a Jermaine Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? I thought it'd be. I actually thought, he beat To. Shit, I actually thought he was in a close fight with To. I thought he pulled it out.
Yeah,
Um, and then he had a close fight with Lomachenko as well. So shit, you know what I'm saying? You got to see. I don't know, man.
right,
I just hope,
right,
what I'm saying, at the end of the day, man, I hope, he can get back on track. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know, man. When somebody's too inconsistent, you know what I mean? Um, it just make you wonder, you know what I'm saying? It makes
right.
you wonder. And it's because we know what's going on outside of the ring with him and everything we saw. with the De Los Santos. So it make it seem like he ain't focused and things of that nature. Who, you know, I mean, you can't argue that because it's what we see. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
We don't know what's going on in his life other than things he talk about, but then, you know, you can call cap because the things he's saying and somebody
Yeah,
else saying, you see what I'm saying? So it's just too inconsistent right now. And I just think the best thing for fans is just focus on the boxing aspect of it. And we
facts.
know he's a hell of a fighter, but and this gonna be one of his toughest fights to date, like you said.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. So, switching gears, man.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead and let me play this clip of while we speaking of January 31st. Let's play this clip of Teofimo and Shakur right here. I wanted to point out a little inconsistency from Mr. Teofimo Lopez in this clip right here. So let me play this clip.
May be a bridge too far for him, a step too far for him.
Shakur was honestly the most flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories. I think 135 was his top tier. 140, I think we just got to wait and see. You know what I mean? And for him to even come up to do that, you know, I think he deserves his flowers for everyone else out there. You know, guys trying to go more down into the ranks of top 5, top 3, and eventually top 1 for pound.
But that ain't what you said, bro.
What'd I say?
I gotta remind you, you said basically I'm good at the lower weight classes. The only way that I'm going to be good is I fight at 126 pounds against guys like Inoue. But once I move up, you're going to, I can't compete at this level at that weight class. So that's what you said.
When did I say this?
I want to say it was the Danza Project. You was sitting there doing the interview, and I want to say that's what you said, yeah.
So about like 2 years ago.
Yeah, you said I can't move up.
It was 2 years ago. Change. It's changed.
Okay, so you respect it now?
No, it's not that I respect it. It's just that from what I was going off of was the present moment. I think he was fighting at 30. You feel me?
Yeah.
I was already going up to the 40s. I was already at 40.
Yeah, for sure.
So you see that 10-pound gap. I was thinking I was probably going to move up to 47.
Okay, seeing me, you think I'm smaller in person or like, what do you think?
I know nothing.
Okay.
I know nothing, man.
I think that was your angle with Lomachenko. Like, I felt like.
So you got that clip right there, man, of the face-off between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson right there. And yeah, he was speaking about, Shakur thinking, basically praising him, saying that, he think he up for the fight at 140 and everything. And Shakur, a smart guy, you know what I'm saying, great memory that he had. He remembered what Teofimo Lopez said about him on the Danger Project. And I'm going to play that clip because I found that interesting that Shakur definitely pulled his card for us that.
But gotta have fun at the same time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, man, Shakur, he grew up in the amateurs. This kid was one of the top, if not the top, best amateur fighter in the world. He won the Youth Olympic Games, gold medals, international gold medals. And you know what weight class? At 114 pounds, right? He's actually at his finest and his best at his lightest weight. But the kid's eating a lot during in between camps. Now he's going up to 35. My father was right about a lot of things with these kids, Haney and them. You gotta have pop and you gotta have chin, brother. If you don't got one or the other,
these days,
so Shakur, you should go to 130. Go probably even try to make it to 26. Because that's where you're going to really become undisputed and people really going to talk heavy about you. Especially if you fight Inoue. If you fight Inoue and you beat him and outclass him the way you do with all these other guys when I saw you in the amateurs, bro, you will be pound for pound on that list. But you know something? You're resorting on your investors. You're resorting on your back end to help you. And that's just not how it goes. They could do so much to get you to the where they got to get you. But that's what I love boxing. Boxing is that. They could help you get there. But boy, when you got to fight, that's all on you.
Just you in that ring, boy.
It's just you.
So right there, man. So what you think about that far as that in particular right there, man, with Shakur remembering what Teofimo said about him in the Danger Project interview, far as Tio saying that Shakur would be amazing if he fought at lower weight classes instead of him fighting at a higher weight class, 135, 140.
It's all fun and games till you run into somebody who really want to fight you at your weight class.
Facts.
It's all fun and games, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can really say. I found that interesting as well. And he talking about the present moment. Maybe it was the present moment for him. But people don't forget certain things, and certain people, carry that on their chest. He's one of those people that carried it on his chest, and now you got to see what's going on with it.
Facts, man. Yeah, I'll definitely feel the same way. I was like, you know, Tiafimo, I thought it was more so like Tiafimo them they're playing mind games because I felt like with the Danger Project, that's how he truly feel for real. But I felt like everybody know this is the art of war, man. Where a lot of these fighters, going in to build up for fights, they're going to go about different ways of trying to get into their opponent's head and everything. So I found it a little interesting where I felt like T.O. probably playing a little mind games possibly, man, but. It was definitely interesting in that perspective for sure for these guys, man. So what you think about this fight so far? Like, far as just the build up and everything going on, because the fight is coming up this next Saturday on the 31st.
uh, I I don't know, man. Honestly, I really ain't been paying attention to it like that. I know
Yeah.
I've heard a couple things about it and things of that nature. I seen the press conference. T.O. like to play dumb. I found him as one of those people who like to, play dumb or whatever the case he trying to do. I don't know what it is. In his eyes, he called it the art of war. uh, and shoot, man, I don't know, man. It's one of the things I gotta see. You know what I mean? Honestly, I just feel like Shakur is one of those guys who's locked in. And then I feel like T.O. is one of those guys who like to play one of those, play a character of, hide your hand at certain different things. But we'll see. I know T.O. know what he's up against. I know that for sure. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see the weight loss that he has. Um, he's of course he's taking it serious. But it's definitely a gap right there. Despite who T.O. fought, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a different athleticism gap. It's definitely a different gap in skills as well. Don't get me wrong, both of them highly skilled. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but it's definitely a gap. It's definitely a gap, and we just got to see who transitions better within that gap. You know what I mean? So
Fact.
that's how I see it. I don't think it'll fight to go how people think it'll go. Some people think that Shakur will blaze him, and some people think that T.O. will blaze Shakur. We're just gonna find out who has that gap advantage. But I do definitely think that there's a gap between their skills. And it could be vice versa. You know what I'm saying? It definitely could have because I've seen Tio rise to the occasion. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking about the Lomachenko fight. I just thought that was just all bad from the beginning. I was one of those people who did pit Tio to beat Lomachenko because of the size of disadvantage and because of the age disadvantage. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So we'll see. Now you got two of the guys. I mean, I think they roughly around the same age, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So and then one guy has fought better opposition. The other one has fought the best opposition of the opportunities he had to face guys. So we'll see though. You know what I mean? We'll
Absolutely.
definitely see for sure. And I
Absolutely. I
and I
found it
and I, and I
crazy with the
honestly think
odds. You see?
I haven't looked at the odds, but I would tell you this though. I honestly think that it'll be a hell of a fight for a certain time because what people don't know about Shakur not a small dude. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Tio is to me frantically like looking at both of them in public eye. Shakur is definitely way bigger than fucking T.O. So you just got to see how that go. You know what I mean? Definitely got to see how that go for sure.
Yeah, man, they got Shakur minus 320 on the odds and To plus 230.
And that's why I say it's definitely a gap. And we're gonna see. And I think I'm not sure what Vegas see, but if I'm the odds maker, I have it roughly around the same thing as well.
Yep, and you see they got Keyshawn minus 630 over Jermaine Ortiz, plus 410 right now, currently in Vegas right now. And then, of course, they got Carlos Adames big time minus 450 over Mo Williams, plus 300.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the Shakur. I mean not Shakur, but I don't think that the Jermaine Ortiz and Keyshawn Davis line is accurate.
Yeah, that's
I think
wide, man.
yeah, I
That's
think that
real
fight.
wide.
I
Yeah,
think
this was
that
from
fight.
FanDuel today.
Yeah, I think that fight gonna be a lot closer than what people think.
Yeah, man. I was like -6. Like, that's crazy. Like, yeah, they just think Keyshawn just gonna watch them in this shit. And in particular, for real, I'm just like, I think it's gonna be a lot more tougher fight than what people expect for sure. Because Jermaine Ortiz, he ain't he ain't he's been having some good decent performances in recent time. Well,
Right.
Keyshawn is definitely another level than the guys he's fought for sure.
Yeah.
And but Jermaine Ortiz then fought guys, like you said with Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko as well. So he's been in there with tough competition. So I think that spread is crazy right there. It's
I,
nasty
I,
work.
I I think so too. You know what I'm saying? I think so too. You know what I mean? And then you look at everything that Keyshawn's, been saying, and you look at what he's done. Actions speak louder than words too. You know what I mean? So that's a fight right there. You just got to see what's going to happen. And I think that's what's intriguing about it to me as well. I think it's more intriguing than a lot of fights that's coming up, honestly, because again, everything that's going on, with Bernie saying what he's saying, Keyshawn saying what he's saying, and and it's just like I said before, the inconsistencies from Keyshawn. And
Facts.
I think that line right there just don't make any sense to me. Especially when you got a guy like Jermaine Ortiz who has fought the better opposition and he actually has performed in those opportunities that he's had. He's come up short, in which, in my eyes, I don't think at least one of those fights, I thought he won like clear. I thought he won clear. So we just gotta see, man.
Man, absolutely, man. Like Steph said, she said Jermaine ain't no punk right there. And then looking at Mr. Hacker, he says the Keyshawn line sounds about right to him. Jermaine Ortiz lost both his toughest fights.
Mm, okay.
My boy Rasa Farazi said, "Bruh, I forgot them folks was fighting. Ain't no buzz." Yeah, man, the buzz around the court, man, I ain't gonna lie, it's been lackluster, man, a little bit to me in particular. I think it's more so this card is more like it's a hardcore boxing card. You know what I'm saying? They was hoping that it would translate to like the casual fan base with guys like Tiafimo and Shakur and adding Keyshawn on there as well. Um, and of course Shu being from New York and everything. But I'm hoping that the event, does its due. I hope it does its due. We need it to do what it do for boxing. But of course, us within the boxing culture, we gonna push it. We gonna push the fight. Push the fight card as much as we can and see, if it help out with the fan bases and go from there, man. That's all we can do for real, man. But now I can say it for myself. I like the Teofimo and Shakur fight. It's not a fight that I was clamoring for, honestly, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? As far as the styles of both guys, both of them being counter punchers in particular. But far as name wise and what they got, up against each other, as far as them two guys these guys was always going down this road where they were going to end up fighting each other eventually. So, the
Yeah, but
fight is here. The fight is next week, and hope everybody support it much as possible, man, for sure. And Shakur, that minus 320, man, that line has, I think the line's been that for a while too, like around the same time. From the last couple of weeks where the line's been the same, where it's been Shakur minus over 300 on Teofimo Lopez.
yeah, that's about right. I got it about the same.
Man. So they Vegas on to something, man. I felt Vegas was crazy the other day when they had Miami minus 8.5 on Indiana the other day. So I was like, that was crazy.
Oh yeah. I had Miami on that spread, man, and
Yeah,
they could
yeah,
have won that
man.
game. You know what I'm saying? Could have won that game, but shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it was good ass national championship game the other day, man, for
No,
sure,
for
man.
sure, yeah, for sure it was. So
Good ass game, man, to end the year out on the college football side. So
yeah,
we got all right, so let's go ahead and talk about the guy, man, our guy, man, B Norm Jr., man. Of course, man, recent time in fought Devin Haney, came up short in the fight, of course, and
yeah,
of course, he did a recent interview with Cigar Talk where he looked like he was in great spirits and everything, and saying basically that he good and back working and stuff, and of course looking to get back in the ring, coming up in April, March or April. So
yeah.
you can kind of speak in perspective with B Norm Jr., man.
Yeah. I actually got it. I actually talked to him last night because his ass been avoiding me. I talked to his ass last night. Well, yeah, he good, man. He real good, man. Him and his pops good. Everything good. Them boys, they locked in or whatever like that. Um, I thought it was a good interview. You know what I'm saying? Be a grown man coming into his own. So unfortunately, he said some things that he said, but um, that way when he got back from Saudi, he came over here. We sat down, we talked. You know what I'm saying? And he let me in on some things that happened that I wasn't privy of. Well, I'm not gonna say I wasn't privy of, and some things that happened that I didn't know of. I say that, and some of those things came out. You know what I'm saying? But him and his dad good, man. I don't want people to think that they not good. They are good. You know what I'm saying? Um, he definitely back working. He was gonna getting another trainer. But I don't want people to think that he just gonna dump his dad and da da da. No,
Right.
it's more to the story than what people believe or know. He didn't state all, but it's a specific reason. But I'll also say this: don't think that dad is out the picture or he's far away or whatever the case may be, because this can just be a one fight thing. You know what I mean? I can put that out there. This might just be a one fight thing.
Right.
But and then the next fight his dad can be right back. So, and then again, people who are celebrating that his dad is gone, hey man, hey, I don't know one trainer out there that has a fighter that came through the gauntlet and went to the heights that he's already been, and you know what I mean, at a young age. There's, trainers doing YouTube clowning him, you know what I mean? But how can you clown somebody who's already created a world champion? That's where things get sticky. You can't clown somebody who's already had a world champion, and you're a trainer, professional trainer too, and you haven't had one. You know what I'm saying? They even sniff
Man.
at that. You know what I mean? But they good, man. Him and his dad, they good. You know what I mean? Some things that Junior wanted to is get back established between those two. And those things are definitely going perfectly fine. They spent Christmas together. You know what I mean? Keeping them updated on what's going on, what's next, who's next. So man, everything good, man. And Junior, he cool. Some things that we shared that he felt like should have happened. You know what I mean? Uh, he's kicking himself for a couple things, but that's what it's all about in a return. You know what I mean? And he's definitely looking forward to it. I know people said they seen pictures of him with Coach Derrick James, and people assume that he's training
Yeah.
with Derrick James. That's not accurate either. You know what I mean? So
Right.
people just as boxing fans, content creators, we like to be first and not really run things through the fax machine. But he did have a workout with Derek. But if you paid close attention, the whole fighters first management stable was there. So it wasn't just like him working out with Derek James to be his new trainer or nothing like that. It was just training, man. You know what I mean? There's more names on the list. I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean. But it's more names on the list, and he'll get around to those names and see what's going on. You know what I mean. But for sure, I think he should be back in April. Probably earlier than that, probably March. But we'll see. You know what I mean. And shit, he gonna be mandatory real soon. Gonna be mandatory real soon, and yeah, man. Gonna be interesting 2026 for him.
Facts, facts, facts. Let me read this super chat from Mr. Boxing Hacker right here. He said, looking back, do y'all still think Devin was forced into the Brian Norman fight? LOL. I remember y'all said Dev was forced. LOL. How forced was he now? Salute the Boxing Hacker with
How
the
Forrest
five
Worksy?
dollar super chat.
Because I know that he was signed to Turkey. Listen, man, people can deny and all that stuff and things of that nature, man. Like I said before, when the fight was a not one before the fight was even thought of, Turkey called Norman team, literally 2 days after he fought Sasaki. They wasn't even thinking about Brian Norman Jr. Bill was talking about honorable mentions with fucking what's his name? Little Africa. Listen, I know what I know. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly what I don't gotta prove nothing to nobody. I know what I know. Now, how the fuck does it look? How does it? You tell me, Cam. How does it look when you don't even know that another like let's just say me and you was fighting, right?
Right.
And I'm in Devin's shoes, you in Norman's shoes, but you get a call from Turkey about a fight. I don't even know that you got a call about the fight, but then I go run to Twitter and say I'm looking for this guy named Brian Norman Jr. because I finally get whiff of that, what I'm saying, Turkey making this fight to make it look like we're running things. That's not
Right.
how it happened. That's just not how it happened. People can believe
Right.
what they want to believe. 2 days after, which means he fought on the Thursday, Saturday on the way back, AC got the call. On Monday, they was having a meeting about it. So again, like people can say what they want to say. I know. You know what I mean? I know. Whether he was forced into it or not. But I know what I know. They didn't know what was going on. Now, if
Facts.
they knew what was going on, none of the shit that was written would have been said. It don't take a damn fucking rocket scientist to figure it out. Why would
Facts,
Brian
man.
Norman Jr. say? Why would he respond and say, "Oh, you ain't got to pull up on me. I'm pulling up on y'all"? Why would he respond in that way? Come on, man. Like again, like I said before, boxing fans, they know so much, and sometimes you can't tell people something, bro. And I ain't going back and forth with no motherfucker,
Oh
bro.
yeah, bro.
I know what I know,
We
but
we know what happened, man. We know how the fight came about, man. We done broke this down several times, so
right,
no
right,
need to go back on that in
right,
particular for sure.
right. I
No
ain't,
need.
bro.
Salute
Come
to
on, man.
Boxer Hacker with the $5 super chat, by the way, man. Salute to you though, brother. All right, so recent timing, man. I wanted to get your opinion on this situation that's been going on, man. One of the hottest topics in boxing right now with Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, man. Of course, it's been a lot of back and forth as far as the negotiations with that fight, in particular with these two guys, and of course, Eddie Hearn uh, himself, he said that he was in the perception of them doing a 50-50 split. Those guys get similar guarantee and 5% to the winner. And then, of course, you got, Rick Mirigen, Virgil, his manager. They saying that they want, 10 figures, 7 figures. And then you got, Oscar De La Hoya is saying that 60-40, 60-40, winner takes takes all. takes 5%. If you are so confident in beating Virgil Ortiz, then we have a fight. So you got, got Oscar. He's pushing, 60-40 on the percentage and everything, and then of course, in recent time, and Oscar and Rick Merrigan, them two, they on the same side. They start beefing with each other and everything to where you got Virgil, they're basically, they got a lawsuit on Golden Boy right now where they trying to get out, out of their contract and everything. Oscar and you know Team Virgil, they going back and forth right now as far as you know pretty much they it's Oscar doesn't want Rick Mirjan in the negotiations in the fight talk with Boo Sanders. You
Of
know,
course, he want the money.
yeah, and Team Virgil, they want Rick Mirjan. They've been working with him for years, so they want Rick Mirjan, in the situation.
Right.
And then Oscar, of course, in recent time, man, he came out and said that the lawyer that Virgil Ortiz has is the same lawyer that worked with Canelo and everything that put the lawsuit on him for Virgil in recent time. And so it's a whole lot of back and forth right now between Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy, with Team Virgil Ortiz Jr. right now, man. So what you think about this situation in particular right there?
Personally, I just think that Oscar want the lion's share of it. That's all it boils down to me. He want the lion's share of it. That's all. You know what I mean? He want to be greedy. That's what it's about. Trying to
Man,
when you Xing out the manager, man. Anytime you want to X out the manager, that means you want the lion's share. That's why he talking about 60-40. Cause he want more money. That's all. That's all it is.
man. Yeah, man. They had this paperwork right here for the
He don't
actual
want to. He
lawsuit.
don't want to do the same thing he did with, or make. I ain't gonna say the same thing. He don't want to make the same move and mistake that he made with tanking in PBC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with the
Um,
Ryan Garcia
Right.
situation.
He ain't trying to lose out. Him possibility of Virgil losing.
Yeah, so they got right here with the paperwork on it said Ortiz is a professional boxer with a record of 24 wins and 0 losses. Since August 2024, Ortiz has been the WBC interim super welterweight world champion, and goes on to say with Golden Boy is a boxing company headed by Olympic gold medalist and former world champion Oscar De La Hoya. In a prior complaint filed in this district, Golden Boy described itself as one of the most successful boxing promotional companies in the world. GHB has GBP has been Ortiz's prominent promoter since his professional debut in 2016. In May 2024, Ortiz and Golden Boy executed a promotional rights agreement under which GBP was to promote Ortiz bouts for 3 more years with minimum payments per fight exceeding $1 million. And said notably, the PRA allowed Ortiz to terminate it if for any reason Golden Boy Promotions contract with this long-term broadcaster, the Zone, ended. Golden Boy broadcast contract with the Zone expired December 31st or January 8th, 2026. Ortiz timely exercised his right to terminate the PRA. On January 13th, 2026, Golden Boy confirmed that its agreement with the zone had concluded, but agreed that because it was negotiating a new the zone agreement, Ortiz could not terminate the PRA. Ortiz now seeks confirmation from the court by way of his claim for declaratory relief that the PRA has been terminated. Additionally, Ortiz seeks damages for various breaches of the PRA and Golden Boy's inference with its perspective. So, man, so like I said, right there, man, they Golden Boy, the zone contract ended December 31st in 2025,
Mhm.
and with his contract. he's basically saying, with them not having a broadcast, he wants his contract terminated right now, so he can move on and do what he want to do and negotiate the boost fights on his own behalf. So, what you
Mm-hmm.
think about that in perspective, brother?
Shit, Virgil really want that fight. He been saying it from the jump. He really want that fight. You know what I'm saying? And he trying to do whatever he can to make the fight. That's all it is. That's what it says to me. He making an effort. Whether he got to go legal to get released or whatever the case may be, he trying to make it happen.
Facts, man.
That's
Facts.
what it say to me. You know what I mean? And I think he's a hell of a fighter. I think a lot of people just don't give him his credit, but I think he's a hell of a fighter. And I think that fight with him and Boots gonna be a lot closer than what people think.
Facts, man. Because I was in a belief it was looking real sketchy, man, on a end, man. But now it's like, all right, Virgil, you showing initiative that you want this fight, and which is I was like, man, I was like, Virgil, he been quiet. He hasn't said anything, amongst all of this. Of course, you done had, Oscar and Rick, both of them, sending, messages back and forth to each other, and then doing videos on each other and everything, and I just want this fight to happen. I'm ready for this fight to happen because this is a big fight for boxing that for 2026 we definitely need to
Right.
happen for sure for the culture because this is a fight that a lot of people been wanting to see for a while. And this is two of the best at 154, and it ain't even no title on the line. But this is a big fight for the division at 154 and the boxing culture in general for sure. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping Virgil could definitely do whatever it takes to make it happen, whether he's working with Golden Boy or not. You know what I'm saying, to make this fight happen in general, man. But like you said with Oscar, he definitely not trying to lose out because PBC they got the majority of the share of the situation with Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, and
Mm-hmm.
he wants to be a part of that bread for this fight for sure. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
from what I
yeah.
heard, they offered them like I offered both, Boots and Virgil, 3.5 million guarantee, and then they was gonna do a 50-50 split, 5% to the winner from the zone. But Team Virgil and Oscar, they're trying to get more money. They trying to get more. Oscar trying to get 7 million guaranteed and stuff for Virgil and stuff. So it's just crazy, man. Like, what you think
the
about the market value for us to fight in general for Virgil, for us like with the numbers that they throwing out?
market value? Oh, nah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even speak on that.
Man, yeah, man. Hey, I just think I think it's crazy that they definitely throwing them numbers out crazy like that, man. In particular, but we get this fight for 2026 for sure, man. It's definitely nasty work that they going through all of this just to get this fight. But we can definitely get to the fights at hand this weekend, man. We got a great fight this weekend, man. Raymond Muratella versus Andy Cruz this weekend. And big fight, man. The IBF title on the line
Hmm.
and 135-pound division. Big fight. You got Khalil Cole versus Jesse Hart on the card, and Israel Mazrimov, he back in action, fighting a decent fight. Of course,
Hmm.
Amari Jones, he's on the card as well, and Zaquan
Hmm.
Moses, he's on the card. So they got some decent, some guys on the card, man, in general. And
Nice little call, right?
yeah, decent little core for sure, man. I'm definitely I'm excited for this fight in general with with Muratalla and Cruz, because with the 135 division, man, it's everybody that's kind of like up in the air now. Shakur fighting at 140, then Tank Kean champion recess and everything. Abdullah, he's the champion at with the WBO, and we got this fight right here, man. So definitely you should get some answers for the 135-pound division this week with this fight in general for sure, man. What you think about this one?
Mm, man.
Seen the odds. They got the odds is pretty close. They got Andy Cruz minus 270, man, with Raymond Muratalla plus 200 right now.
Mm. I don't know, man. It's one of them things I don't know. I don't know. That's gonna be a good fight, man. After and he been coming around, man. He been coming around. And I would say this: we've seen Muay Thai so far. We've seen a bad performance from him, but we've yet to see a bad performance from what's his name? The other one. What's the name you just said?
Andy Cruz.
Andy Cruz. Right. We've yet to see a bad performance from him, in my eyes. Right. But maybe this be one of them fights where Andy Cruz have that bad fight. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I ain't gonna say on a professional level he hasn't been on a stage like this. Of course, he is probably used to it because he's fought all over the world, and then you had the Olympics on the biggest stage in the amateurs, right? But it's totally different. You know what I mean? It's totally different. He has gained a lot of professionalism for the boxing side, of sitting down on his punches and things of that nature. So he does a lot of exciting things in the ring as well. To me, he's an exciting fighter. I think he's a crowd pleaser. I think Raymond Muratella, he showed those flashes of being a crowd pleaser as well. And I also think that Raymond Muratella, um, um, he what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I forgot the word I was about to say, but I think he presents. I do think that he presents a challenge to Andy Cruz. I think Raymond Moratai. I'm not gonna say he's a big puncher, but he can definitely punch.
Yes.
Um, we haven't really seen him get hit as much, but I think the athletic ability of Andy Cruz is way too much for Raymond Moratai. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But it's gonna be interesting to see how he deal with the athleticism of Andy Cruz. You know what I'm saying? And that's what person like me, that's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? Whether he win, lose, or draw, how does he deal with it? You know what I mean? I think
Absolutely.
that makes more of a champion to me. Even if he doesn't have a belt, he does have a belt. And if he scratched the surface to come back and fight for a belt, then I can say, you know what? I've seen him how he deal with adversity of dealing with athletic fighters. I've seen him deal with the adversity of going through this and going through that. I've seen him have a bad performance already. I've also seen him bounce back from a bad performance and have a stellar performance. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are we gonna expect now? If I say, well, I seen him at his worst. I've seen him at his best. We haven't seen Andy at his lowest. You know what I'm saying? And we could see that style make fights. Um, but I do think that I think Andy is very special, honestly. He's been getting that good work in up there with, Bozy and Boots, you know what I'm saying, and everybody else who affiliated with that camp up there. And so have Raymond Moy Tire, you know what I mean? Him and his camp, they spar some of the best too. So it's gonna be real interesting, you know what I mean, for sure.
Facts, man. Yeah, man, and definitely just looking at recent timing with Raymond Muratalla. Of course, he's 23-0, 17 knockouts, undefeated. And
Hmm.
of course, in recent time, his last fight was last year when he fought Zaire Abdullah. I fucking jacked his name up crazy.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
fought Abdullah last year, beat him by unanimous decision in a fight
Uh-huh.
where I mean, if anybody watched that fight in general, I remember watching it and covering it last year. He won the fight pretty handily. You know, easy fight for him in general. Zaire was definitely game for the fight, but he definitely clearly won that fight in particular. And of
Right.
course, he fought, Jesus Campos before that in 2024, got a knockout in the second round. And of course,
Hmm.
the infamous fight that was, real close with Tevin Farmer in 2024, where he won by,
Hmm.
decision, where a lot of people felt that
Kevin
Muratalla
Farmer.
got gifted one right there with that one. A
Right.
lot of people felt Farmer won that one because it was definitely a close fight. But
Right, for
they
sure.
wanted Muratalla to move on and be in championship contention for top rank at 135.
Hmm. Hmm. And that's what I'm saying. So like, I've seen Raymond Moore at his lowest. I've seen how Tevin Foreman wasn't as athletic as he was in that fight as he has been in previous years. But I've seen him kind of you know work with those guys who kind of athletic. So I know what he can bring to the table for this fight. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's interesting to see. Like, okay, well, this is enormous step from the skill. I'm not gonna say skill, but the athleticism. Because Tevin Foreman was, I think what is in the 30s when they fought. So, and now you got a guy who's much younger. I'm not sure how old Andy is, but shit, he looked refreshed. He looked like a fucking
Facts.
18-year-old the way he be moving. You know what I mean? So,
Facts.
with that being said, man, I think stylistically it makes for a good fight, and I want to see how Raymond Muratella did with things. And of course, going forward, I gotta respect and honor Andy Cruz and I want to see how he moved forward because he's coming into championship caliber fights now. So I want to see how he deal with certain things. Raymond Muratalla might have more in his toolbox for us, being, because he's been on that level where they're at now, and Andy Cruz coming up. You know what I mean? So look, it it's all gonna matter on fight night. You know what I'm saying? I think all the answers, I mean, all the things that I want to see, and I think all the things that I got to say about the fight will be answered that night.
Absolutely. The rain would
Right.
tell it all, man. As my brother Thomas Hill always says, man, for sure. And looking at Andy Cruz, he's 6-0, 3 knockouts, and looking at the fights that he done had in recent time.
Hmm.
Um, of course, he fought twice in 2025, where the first fight in 25 he fought Omar Gamez and beat him by unanimous decision, and then he beat this guy Mashiro, knocked him out in
Hmm.
the fifth round, and of
Hmm.
course, the 2024 he fought twice in 24. Fighting Antonio Moran, where he stopped him in the seventh round. That was on the Madrimov and Crawford card.
Hmm.
I remember that fight in general for sure. And of course, he won by decision against Brian Rodriguez in 2024 in February. So Andy Cruz, man, definitely got fast tracked, due to the fact, with his amateur background. And now he's here, man, fighting Raymond Muratella for this title, man. Which is I personally feel like with the styles, it's definitely, in my opinion, it's a 50-50 fight in my opinion right now. That's why you see with the odds is the odds is close right now with Vegas right now. So I
Right.
think it's definitely a fight where it can go either way for us with Andy Cruz. Of course, him being a little bit more skillful, fighting more on the outside at times and stuff. Even though I have seen him fight on the inside, Raymond Muratalla, he likes to bring it on the inside. So I'm really curious of what Andy Cruz game plan is. You know, because I believe he definitely gonna have to mix it up. For as the inside and the outside to win this fight in
Right.
particular. Because Raymond Raymond definitely had some difficulty a little bit with Tevin Farmer. He's a guy that likes to mix it up on the inside and outside as well. So I believe that'd be more so the game plan with Andy Cruz. As far as trying to get the victory on Raymond Muratalla and get this title, man, under his hands right there. Of course, he got aspirations of fighting other guys and stuff like Keyshawn Davis. Even though I think with Keyshawn, him fighting at 140, then him talk about moving up to 147. I think that fight is starting to become a little bit more far fetched in particular.
Right.
But well, we shall see. Andy Cruz got to get through this one first, though, in particular with Raymond Muratalla for sure first. And I think it's going to be a hell of a fight this week. I think we're going to get some action in this fight. We're going to get some action in this fight for sure, man. And I'm definitely there for it. And what you think about Khalil Cole and Jesse Hart and Madrimov on his comeback fight? Madrimov hasn't fought since he fought Virgil Ortiz. What you think about them two?
I want to see what Madrimov do, man. I'm not really too hipped on Cole and Hart like that, but I know that's
Yeah,
gonna be a tough fight. You know what I'm saying? Khalil Cole will be doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, be doing
facts.
this thing. But I'm not too much hipped on those guys like that. Um, so I think that'll be a good fight. But I want to see what Magimov do. I think he got a lesser opposition than the last two fights he's had. He had, what, shit, he had a hell of a two-fight run. You know what I mean? With
Facts.
Bud and
Facts.
fucking Virgil. You know what I'm saying? And for me to able, and I think he's fighting lesser competition now. So for me to see him, to see how he really is as a fighter, I think that'll, open my eyes a little bit more to him and see what he have left in the tank. I
Absolutely,
think
man.
going
Yeah, I'm
going
definitely
through
curious
those
to
two
see what
fights like
Madrimov
that.
do.
Because I
Yeah,
was gonna say going through those two fights like that, man, I ain't gonna say it could take a lot at you, but shit, those two big fights right there, with Bud and then Virgil, shit, I
man.
think Bray probably took something out of you. You know what I'm saying? You got the money, cool and fine, dandy, but I'm positive it took something out you.
Most definitely, especially that fight with Virgil, because he definitely took a lot of punishment in that fight where he was injured, where it left him out for a little while and everything, man. So
Right.
I'm definitely intrigued to see Mazarov come back and see how strong he look in this fight in particular, and Khalil Cole and Jesse Hart. That was a fight that they had scheduled that was supposed to be on the Boots and Lima card, but I think Jesse Hart, he got hurt during camp, so they rescheduled the fight, and now we have it on this Muratella and Cruz card now. So definitely interested for these fights this Saturday, man, for sure, man. Tell you, man, you got anything, man, new going on, man? Let the people know, what you got new coming up and everything, and as well, man. Let them know, the platform and everything.
Oh man, shit. I ain't really got nothing new coming up right now, man. Well, I'm lying. I got some things. I do got some things I'm working on.
Thanks.
We just gotta see how it's gonna play out. Then of course, like I said before, we got the press conference next week. What else? Man. Then we got the press conference next week. Shit, we got Norman back training, doing what he doing. Um, I'm about to get ready to start going back live a little bit on the channel, whatever like that, or what Pac-Man
Thanks.
ATM Store Tay. You know what I mean? I got a lot of merch getting ready to drop, stuff like that. So just getting back to the usual. You know what I'm saying? Being a father, man, that means more to me right now. So I just been busy doing that and handling the other things I got going on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, brother. I
Yeah,
already
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I
man.
already
So.
know.
Boss is gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? Whether
Thanks.
I'm away from it or whether I'm in it or what I mean, talking about it, it's gonna be there. So I think the most important thing right now is just being the father to my daughters, man, and love them girls dearly and shit. But I definitely can't wait to April. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people got mixed emotions about Deontay, and that's fine. That's fine. That again, everybody got rights to their own opinion. You know what I mean? And I just can't wait, man. And shit, see everybody in April, man.
Facts, man. Facts, man. You already know, brother, man. I appreciate you, brother. Every time you come on, man, I hit you up. You always there, man. So
For
I
sure,
always definitely gotta show much love, man, and appreciation to you, man. Always, brother, man. You already know.
man. It's
Anytime you
all
need me, I'm
love,
there, brother, for sure.
man. It's all love, cause you know it.
You already know, man. Much blessings, brother,
Blessings, bro.
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So this was another great show right here, man. Salute to my dog Tate Jones, man, coming up, man, talking this boxing on the recent news and everything, and especially getting to talk about Brian Norman Jr. News on him, and of course Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber, on his upcoming fight with Derek Chisora. And we covered a lot of the recent news in boxing tonight, man, for sure, man. So salute to everybody, man. Much love. Salute to the wifey, Mrs. Cam J. Always, man. And you already know, sorry but not sorry, Boxing Talk. We live every Wednesday. So everybody enjoy your evening. Make sure y'all have your notifications set, man. Content dropping. We active. And we definitely lit out here, man. So salute to everybody. And we out of here.
All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it.